Terry Lapp,
Here.
John Prouty,
Here.
Todd Schneider, Melissa Smits, present.
All right, now if you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For you to- Okay, now we have approval of the previous minutes.
Move to approve the minutes as written.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rob Caruth,
Aye.
Derek Gerken,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Terry Lapp,
Aye.
John Prouty,
Aye.
Melissa Smits, aye.
Okay, now we have any agenda changes and approval of the agenda.
I'll move to approve.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rob Caruth,
Aye.
Derek Gerken,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Terry Lapp,
Aye.
John Prouty,
Aye.
Melissa Smits, aye.
Okay, now is opportunity for audience. Anybody here for public comments? None? Okay. We'll go ahead and start into our reports. First up is our Fort Morgan High School student representative, Mateo.
So this week, our volleyball team in sports is 6-6 in this short season, and the next game is they're actually playing today against Roosevelt. And then the boys soccer team finished 5-4 with their last. I guess their last game was possibly the day. I don't know if they ended up playing or not. And then season D, which is baseball, track, and girls tennis, start next week. Oh, and girls golf started this week. School events, we have begun construction to create a new front entrance. That has been going on for a couple weeks, I guess probably the beginning of April. And then prom took place last Saturday and went very well. Prom and after prom were also much fun for all the students. And Alondra Aguirre and Joe Ha won prom king and queen. Seniors have 13 days left in school, and graduation is Sunday, May 16th at 2 p.m. at Legion Field. That's it.
Thank you. Now we'll go on to our board reports. Nancy?
Yeah, you'll find the report there. I'll just go over some of the highlights. We met on April 15th. Just information from district updates. There's several districts looking for a high school principal. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe here. Those of you that know Dr. McLean, he is retiring at Platte Valley, but he's going to be coming back on a 110. Randy Zila indicated there are a couple legislative bills that we need to pay attention to. One would be the payment for board member services, and the other one was that all districts in Colorado would be entering into collective bargaining agreements. It would be statewide. Going into the ESSER funds, just as a point of interest, the Fort Morgan office building was updated with using ESSER funds for their HVAC system. The Parent Institute for Title I, Part C Migrant Education will be April 17th in Fort Morgan. And iConnect graduation will be May 14th in Wiggins. And lastly, BOCES is giving some training. They'll have a CPI training on August 11th or August 31st. Those are full, or actually it's a half day, it's 8 to 1. And then there'll be a training for Enrich IEP development on September 1st. That would be a full day. Thank you.
So Nancy, was there much discussion on paying school board members?
No, there really wasn't, but it was just kind of interesting. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Anybody else? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our superintendent, Dr. Rena Frasco.
I actually don't have anything to report this evening unless there are specific questions around things going on in the schools.
I don't think so. Perfect. Okay, our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Assessment and our English Language Development Director, Shelley O'Connor.
Just wanted to say that Troy and I did after prom, and the kids were wonderful. Super respectful. Looks like they all had a good time. I was wishing I could get into the dodgeball with the glow in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
Or the escape room, but I didn't get to do it. But they did a really nice job, and the kids were really good, so thrilled with that. Secondly, I am working on, again, having an evaluation planning committee this year. I did it the first year in the spring and had some parents come, and CDE has like kind of a table to look at evaluation of like an ELL program in a district. And I'm working with Andrea Escalera and also Martha Solario for some parents that will come that would really be willing to speak up and give their thoughts on, you know, communication from the district, how they think the ELL program has been for their students, things like that. And so just to let you know, that's coming soon. I think I'm going to separate it this time with staff members being in one meeting and then parents being in another and possibly some students being in another meeting. So if any of you are ever interested in that, when I get the staff meeting one set up, if you're interested in coming, just kind of listening to the comments and the feedback from the staff, we'd love to have any of you there. And that's it for me tonight, unless there's any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now on to our Finance Advisor, CFO, Mike Lee.
3 good news and 1 bad news. Which would you like me to start with? Bad. Apparently we had repaired this before, partway, I guess, but we have a cracked sewer line in the tunnel, which is on the south side of the gymnasium, the big gym. That'll be the tie-in for the new expansion for our new admin wing. So we're gonna have to go in and replace some of that sewer line, and it's kind of a G.I. Joe crawl area, so it's gonna be a tough repair. They did a full scoping of that and saw the crack, which apparently we knew. We didn't replace that when we knew about it before, so we're gonna have to come back in and take that on as an additional scope project. No cost of what that is yet. Good news is we closed our capital lease last Wednesday. That's a done transaction. That was our $4.1 million for all this project. Pledging the Sherman Early Childhood Edition is collateral for that, so that's all done and squared away. Our money's deposited with C-Safe. And the other good news is, since I gave the bad news 2 weeks ago, we've already recovered probably another 25 basis points lower in U.S. Treasury yield. So our savings on our 2015 bond refinancing is back up to about $600,000. Net present value of the savings about $560. So that's going to save our taxpayers another $100,000. So hopefully we can get this transaction closed before interest rates take another move on us. And then the third thing, the finance department is doing this internally, but they've started already logging the time with the little fob devices. No more timesheets. We're doing timesheets because we're running a parallel system, the old manual and the new electronic. But you'll just walk in the door, you'll fob in, and automatically as a time recording device goes right into the payroll system, logs all of our employees' time. So we're testing it in our department right now to see what that will look like. But all indications are it's gonna be fine. But it's gonna take a little bit of do the fobs all work? Are they new enough fobs, old fobs? And so we got a few hurdles to get over, but we've started testing that system I've chatted about in the prior months. So other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. And now our HR Director, Brian Childress.
Thank you. We're in the thick of hiring season. Saturday the 10th, we participated in the CASPA job fair. Got a couple of candidates applying for jobs out of that fair, which is good. Still seeing a lot of movement, a lot of folks who are making decisions to go do something else besides be in Fort Morgan, seeing a lot of people who want to be in Fort Morgan. So we're in that stage of the hiring season where there's a lot of ebb and flow. But hopefully, good changes. So negotiations is ongoing. We're getting close to finishing that up, thanks to Derek for hanging in and being vigilant and helping out with those talks. Both groups are really have great ideas and are coming with very collaborative solutions. The language issues, I think, are wrapping up nicely, and hopefully we'll wrap up some salary pieces as well in the next couple meetings. So should be done on time with those.
Brian, are we still giving out or sending out the intent to return forms? I know they're not binding, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, what I asked principals to do was in February, do those and take an internal temperature of where their staff happen to be. It turns out this year, because of COVID and everything seeming to be happening a little later, that that people just don't know what they're up to. So the Front Range districts still are dragging their feet with posting. That's helping us because they're just not sure about what their funding situations are going to look like based on student enrollment drops. So yes, we did them early, and they were only sort of helpful because of the dynamic this year.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next is our technology director, Brian Amack.
Good evening. I have a couple of items. The first one is an action item that you'll see later. It's our annual getting rid of obsolete, broken equipment. Also, we have some equipment, some phone switches that we previously used, some networking equipment that we've since replaced. The majority of it, I want to send to recycling, but if there's any value to it, I'm going to try doing some eBay to see if we can recover any of that money back out of that equipment. But we have a whole lot of it in the back, and we'd love to get rid of it. So any questions on that before we go to the second item? Second item is we've been going off of what you guys had talked about for our one-to-ones on repairs, which is the district would take care of any repairs that happened to the Chromebooks because we were requiring it out to all the students. I'm going to give you some statistics, and then I want to hear what you guys think of whether we should continue that or we should modify that. We've so far have replaced 385 cracked screens. We've spent a lot of money just on parts alone, absolutely no labor. We've spent $39,403.13. We've had 66 non-repairable Chromebooks. Most of them either look like they ran underneath a car, water, pop, anything like that poured into them, completely damaged them. So I took what it would cost to repair that. We're looking at $55,903.13 so far this school year. So I just need some input on whether we want to continue as is or if we want to look at something different.
What's our take-home protocols for the district? Is like elementary don't take them home and everybody else does, or?
It just depended on what part of COVID we were in.
Well, I mean, in a non-COVID environment.
In a non-COVID environment, the
we-
elementaries would probably stay there most of the
Okay.
time. And it would just be middle school,
And
high school
take 'em.
that would take them out.
Assuming there is a non-COVID environment again.
And just from our work order system, the majority of the repairs come from the high school. I would say probably 80% of the repairs come from high school.
So again, in a non-COVID year, is that a fee that we can assess that when they check those out, that would maybe help offset that, or is that not?
There's lots of ways to do it. In Northeast Colorado, we have some districts that charge exactly what it costs. We have some districts that just have a fee of, if you break the monitor, it's $100. And each part has a price tag to it. Some districts go in and say, okay, the first one, we forgive you. Second time your Chromebook comes into us, it's $50. Next time, it's $100. Next time, it's $250. Kind of a gradual increment.
Are you seeing more than one repair from the same student?
Yes. We've seen some of them 3-4 times.
Somebody's down
He's
there.
going,
Me, no, me. I take that.
What's the most common repair you're seeing with those students that you're seeing 3 or 4 times?
Screens.
Screens, cracked screens?
Yep. If you look at their cell phones, cracked screens. I've sent out instructions to all the teaching staff on what they needed to explain to the students. When you're carrying it from desk to anywhere, close the lid. And the other thing that they do is to show somebody something, they grab it by the top of the screen and say, here, look at this. Well, that pressure in a small point will crack the screen. Or they'll leave a pin in the screen and close the lid, and it cracks it.
So
Yeah.
what's a Chromebook worth?
250.
250.
Yeah. I was hoping it wasn't going to be this large because it adds another layer to the principals and the schools and us to keep track of all the Chromebooks and where are they at, if they're first, second, third, fourth offense, if we go that direction. If we charge them what it costs, it's a fee collection.
Seems like we should expect some accidental damage, with that type of program, but we don't want to subsidize students repeatedly damaging stuff just through carelessness or.
I agree. I feel like there should be a consequence for repeat offenders that haven't quite learned how to take care of them. But, yeah, accidents happen to all of us, so.
Yeah, they do.
And this year has, of course, been
It's been
rougher
different.
than most would be, so.
How does it work, or how did it work when we had textbooks and you didn't return it or it was damaged? Did you have to pay for that?
Yep.
So, I mean,
That's true.
it's,
We should do the same.
we tried to get.
cause that's my concern. We charge a fee.
Yeah. how
Our
much we
district
pay.
is what, 80% free and reduced as it is. How much of that fee and how are you going to be able to get it?
We
I
don't,
mean, you
don't
charge
want to
it,
be a
but,
collection agency.
Right.
We don't want the principals
but
or
at the same time, it's,
staff to be collection agents.
That was the issue with library books, but as we talked this year about, I was just curious what that number was, as Brian reports all the time, hey, we're dealing with damaged Chromebooks. I wanted to know what the fee, like the cost was, because 55, if you're saying about $55,000, and I am not a math whiz, so I'm not gonna tell you how many Chromebooks that is, but as we're already seeing.
245.
Thank you, Brian. I was gonna whip out my calculator here, but, I think it's as we already know that some of our older Chromebooks, we're already having to replace them. And that's not going to go away as we're in a one-to-one environment. And so, how many are not gonna be able to be supported next year on our assessment? Somewhere around
About 300.
300. So that's, I mean, we're already going to have to replace those, and so making sure that we're being fiscally responsible, but also our students are being responsible with the repeat offenders, I guess, is so do we put something in place? And other districts do, like Brian said, have things in place where it's just paperwork, or we didn't put it in the online registration, but how can we put it in there so parents know, guardians know, students know up to begin with? You know, you may get whatever if it's a free pass to begin with, and then this is the cost list on what it's going to cost you. So we just wanted to make sure that the board you give your thoughts, because we don't want to put anything in place, because I know originally we talked about not necessarily assessing any additional fees for students. So we want to be fair, but also responsible.
And we're also looking at possibility of loaners being lesser machines, and we want to decorate them with like My Little Pony or something like that, so it kind of incentivizes them not to break theirs to go get a loaner.
Can we use ESSER's fund for this?
We can absolutely use ESSER's fund for technology. I don't know that we could or should be using year over year.
Well, yeah.
ESSER's at some point is going to fall
Right.
off. They will not question us using, like we did for ESSER's 1, we were able to purchase the Chromebooks to supply enough for so kindergarten, we hand me down some to kindergarten and then replace those in the buildings. So we absolutely can use ESSER's money to buy, and we plan on purchasing additional Chromebooks with ESSER's money, just because we're going to need them as these others sort of become obsolete, I guess,
Right.
and not usable. That's a good question, Terry, about ESSER's money.
So I guess I'm okay with doing something that would be like a graduated sanction, like you talked about, for repeat offenders. I would shy away from the My Little Pony. You can't shame students like that, because that could lead to a whole different set of issues.
They'll just throw the Chromebook
Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
into a frisbee.
well, could lead into a lot of different areas, so. But I think there needs to be some accountability there. I mean, I honestly, I kind of vacillate back and forth on this, because we are requiring them to have the Chromebook and to take care of it, and, kids are kids too. So.
And by the way, textbooks are not cheap either, especially at the high school level. So it's
Mhm.
it's very interesting being in the curriculum world and seeing how much we pay for any textbook that we have is at least $100. And so a Chromebook at $250, I'm not saying that's a steal of a deal, but even when you look at multiple textbooks, if students lose those, that is actually a pretty big fee.
Just out of curiosity, how much is a screen replacement cost?
Since the majority of our high school have touchscreens, we've been buying them for $100 a piece, $99.99. I just was able to finally find them in Alibaba, so I've been ordering them directly from China, and I can now get them for about $75 with shipment. So I save a little bit. My big thing is I can get even better quality ones directly from China, and I can get massive quantities, because this has been a strange year trying to get parts in. I've had to order from 4 or 5 different companies, just trying to get parts in to keep everything repaired and going, so. Hopefully the price will come down at some point, but there's more Chromebooks out there in the world now, so they're gonna have to up the manufacturing to meet the demand.
So I think probably the best answer here is to have administration write something up as a proposal and put it on for board.
Okay. I just had wanted to kind of feel how you were before I sent anything.
Somewhat the equivalency of a textbook. I mean, more
Mhm.
fragile than the textbook, you gotta work a little harder to screw the textbook out.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our consent agenda. There's personnel action report. Approval of consent agenda.
I move we approve it as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rob Carew,
Aye.
Derek Gerken,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Terry Lapp,
Aye.
John Proudy,
Aye.
Todd Schneider,
Aye.
Melissa Smits, aye.
All right, on to our action items. Up first is our graduating students for the class of 2021 from Fort Morgan High School.
I move we approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just want to know what Mateo's going to give me.
Golf lesson.
A big smile.
Roll call.
Rob Carew,
Aye.
Derek Gerken,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Terry Lapp,
Aye.
John Proudy,
Aye.
Todd Schneider,
Aye.
Melissa Smits, aye.
All right. Next is our graduating students for the class of 2021 from Lincoln High School.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rob Carew,
Aye.
Derek Gerken,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Terry Lapp,
Aye.
John Proudy,
Aye.
Todd Schneider,
Aye.
Melissa Smits, aye.
Okay, action item C is our 2021-2022 renewals and non-renewals of administrators.
I move we approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rob Carew,
Aye.
Derek Gerken,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Terry Lapp,
Aye.
John Proudy,
Aye.
Todd Schneider,
Aye.
Melissa Smits, aye.
Okay, action item D is the list for disposal of obsolete technology.
I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rob Carew,
Aye.
Derek Gerken,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Terry Lapp,
Aye.
John Proudy,
Aye.
Todd Schneider,
Aye.
Melissa Smits, aye.
Okay, action item E is the District Accountability Committee meeting dates for the 2021-2022 school year.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rob Carew,
Aye.
Derek Gerken,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Terry Lapp,
Aye.
John Proudy,
Aye.
Todd Schneider,
Aye.
Melissa Smits, aye.
Okay, action item F is a donation to Sherman Early Childhood Center from Edwards Wright Price Market.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rob Carew,
Aye.
Derek Gerken,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
sorry, Terry Lapp,
Aye.
John Proudy,
Aye.
Todd Schneider,
Aye.
Melissa Smits, aye.
Okay, our advanced planning, our work session for the May meetings is Monday, April 26th. Then regular board meetings in May are May 3rd and May 17th. National Teacher Appreciation Week is May 3rd to May 7th. And National Teacher Appreciation Day is Tuesday, May 4th. Lincoln High School graduation ceremony is May 7th. Fort Morgan High School senior banquet is May 10th. The Fort Morgan High School baccalaureate is May 14th. The Fort Morgan High School graduation parade is May 15th. And the Fort Morgan High School graduation ceremony is May 16th. The last day of school is May 21st, and the end-of-year staff picnic is May 21st. And that is all we have. It's 7:30 p.m. I'll adjourn.